Hello and welcome to ATP Report. I'm Barry Newspawn. We're going to get started in a minute with a perfectly fantastic guest who you all know and love. First, please take out your cell phone if you haven't done it already and sign up for our text message alert system. It's very simple. All you do is send the letters TRUTH in the message box and address it to the number 88202. When you push send, it'll take about 3 or 4 seconds. You'll be signed up for free. You'll get all of our shows on your cell phone right in the palm of your hand, absolutely for free, because we don't charge for content. We have Will Johnson back today. Will's a friend of ATP. He's a contributor every week with us. He brings insights you don't get anywhere else. So welcome back, Will Johnson.
Glad to be here, Barry.
I got to dive right in. I've spent the whole day looking at your website, Unite America First. A lot of great content there. I suggest all of our followers go check you out and sign up to follow you as well. You had an amazing video taken from The View, where this goofball host introduces and interviews a bigger goofball who says, quote, "The Constitution is trash." I'm serious. And you made the comment that it's one of the greatest documents ever written. In fact, maybe the greatest document ever written by man in human history. And this unreal opinion, discussed as basically a political science debate, shows how low the country has sunk philosophically. Tell me about this. Who are the people who believe the Constitution belongs in the garbage can? And what do you think of them?
You know what, Barry? For over 2 years, I've constantly said that they don't care about the Constitution. I've repeated it so much. And I've talked about how the Democrats want to do away with the Constitution. And the way you can point it out is how they wanted to change the Electoral College. They wanted to federalize our election, which goes against the U.S. Constitution. And I've had so many people send me messages saying, "Hey, Will, we have the Constitution." And I said, true. But when you have people that are in power that don't adhere to the Constitution, what does the Constitution mean? How much water does it hold? Think about it. So these people are openly telling everybody how they actually feel about the Constitution. They want to rip it up. They want to burn it down. And Barry, the amazing thing is that they try to say they want to do away with the Constitution because it's racist. That's what they're actually getting at. The U.S. Constitution is racist. It's racist. Why, Barry? Because they didn't include Black people when they were writing it. I mean, this is ridiculous. It is, so when they do talk about Black people in the Constitution, they always refer to the 3/5 of a man. And a lot of people don't understand what that's about. Had the Republicans not put that in there, Barry, I would not have the freedoms I have today. And I know a lot of people go, "Oh, listen to him. He thinks he's a 3/5 of a man." No, what it was is they put that in there because the white Democrat slave owners wanted to count each and every vote of a slave as an actual vote. The Republicans said no, because you're going to vote against their interests, because you're going to vote against for them to be enslaved, knowing good and well no man on earth would vote for bondage, not a single time. So they put that in there. And guess what? The Democrats still lost, even though they try to tally those votes. They've been trying to cheat ever since, right? But they lost. And that's the reason why it's in there. But for them to call the U.S. Constitution trash when it gives us all the freedoms and the rights that every other country in the world would love to have, says a lot about who they are.
As a constitutionalist, as you are, my very strong admonition to people in regards to the Constitution and the various changes made since then, I might want to add, all the Republicans voted to free the slaves and all the Democrats voted against freeing the slaves. How about that for the Democrats calling the Republicans the racist party? The Ku Klux Klan, Democrats. The
Yes.
Slave owners, Democrats. The congressmen that voted against freeing the slaves, Democrats. And yet
Yes.
the Republicans, like Lincoln, are the racists. Interesting, isn't it?
Well, they're actually trying to change they're actually trying to change and say that Lincoln was a Democrat. Sorry.
Go back. You're going to go back 150 years and change his voter ID, I guess.
Exactly.
So MSNBC and this congresswoman who's just priceless on her quotes, Jayapal, they have now agreed that the reason why gas has gone up at the pump like double and triple since Biden has been president is because of, well, Donald Trump. And gas prices would be even higher if Trump was still president. It has nothing to do with Biden canceling, all the pipelines and all the drilling and all the refining permits. It's Trump and Putin that caused the oil price increase. Does anybody buy that story?
Yes. There's still some people that have brain cells that are social distancing. And and they're buying into it. They literally are. And for them, so when President Trump was in office, we were the #1 exporter of natural gas. We became energy independent. So where are they getting this information from? Why are they all of a sudden saying that it would be worse under President Trump when we all know that under President Trump, we were sustaining ourselves. We were fueling ourselves. So now they're acting like we all have amnesia, like we can't remember past yesterday, past last Tuesday, what the Democrats have done. And the only reason why many people are talking about the gas prices is because everybody's getting hit with it. And there's a sinister reason why they're wanting to do away with the oil and the gas is because they want to have all of us in electric vehicles. And then that way they can control where we go, how long we're there, and they'll be able to shut us down from preventing us from going anywhere in the first place.
Well, local Washington genius, failed mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg, I don't even know how he got the job, literally came out, I think yesterday, and said, you won't care about skyrocketing gas prices, go buy a $50,000 electric car. So just to be clear, if you can't afford $5 gas, you can afford a $50,000 Tesla. Makes total sense to me. How about you?
I was thinking the same thing. It doesn't make any sense. And that's 50,000 is like the start. Well, I guess they have some that are 36,000, but still $5 a gallon of gas, and that's hurting us now. Even a $36,000 electric vehicle, is still going to be painful. And then, Barry, if you can't afford $5 of gas right now, how are we going to afford to charge the daggone thing?
Well, wait a minute. Here's a killer one. I don't want to get into it, but it's just I want to make the point. California does not generate, get this, enough electric power to supply the current needs of the state, plus any increase, even marginally, in the number of electric cars being charged in homes. There's no excess capacity. So people are going to have cars they can't charge. Holy cow.
I remember.
Let me ask you about the State of the Union. It was a mess of a speech, according to many people. And I want to ask your opinion of the speech. And also, I can't figure this one out. Maybe you've got an idea. What the heck was the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, doing right behind the president? She was doing this like clicking thing, like her dentures were falling out. And then she was kind of doing this thing with her hands, like, I don't know, she had some kind of stroke or something. Can you explain any of this?
No. I mean, she reminded me of a prime mantis, just, I mean, basically the only way that I can think about this is that it's a demonic spirit, because we constantly hear about the spiritual realm, and we're seeing it because that's the only excuse that we can come up with that will excuse all of these people doing stupid stuff, doing stuff that is really truly out of the ordinary. And for her to do this, and she stands up, I mean, just excited about nothing.
Yeah, it's very strange. Very, very, very strange. And you're right. there's something weird going on with her. I don't know if it's demons or alcoholism or
Both.
she's just gone off the deep end. Honest to gosh, I don't know. So the latest truck convoy has now reached Washington, D.C., and there's a lot more trucks on the way. But you know what, Will? It's not on the news. Will these convoys have the same positive effects on the House, the Senate, and maybe the White House as the ones apparently in Canada did with all the provincial governors canceling mask mandates in Canada?
No, because they don't care. I've had, Barry, there's actually people upset with me right now because of what I said about the convoy. And I've said this. I like the idea of it. I like to see the idea of a whole bunch of trucks on the freeway, cars, people for a cause. I don't have any issues with that. They got upset with me because I said what's going to happen is that they're going to do this convoy and Russia and Ukraine is going to pop off. And who do you think they're going to talk about? You can have thousands of vehicles on the road protesting for a just cause, because it is a just cause, a protest against what the government is doing to us. But when you have war kick off in Ukraine and with Russia, no one's going to talk about it. So then they're meeting with Ted Cruz. They're supposed to meet with Ted Cruz and a few other politicians. Basically, all they're going to do is voice their grievances, stop the mandate. But guess what, Barry? The mandates are already lifting. Why? Because it's election season. They don't want to go into the election season thinking and having people remember it was the Democrats that put him out of business. It was the Democrats that put him out of a job. It was the Democrats that were attacking their children. It's the Democrats that putting masks on their children. It was the Democrats that raised the gas prices. It was the Democrats that did all of this. So they have to try to remove some of these elements out of the way. So when people go to the poll, they don't remember. So we'll have a war going on, and people won't remember about what the Democrats did. But the convoy, I like the idea, but it's 3 months too late, my opinion.
Will, tell our viewers where they can find out about you and get your information on a regular basis, would you please?
Simply go to uniteamericafirst.com.
It's that easy, ladies and gentlemen out there in ATP land. Will Johnson's our family. You need to follow him to find out his perspective on a daily basis. There's always good stuff on his site. And for those of you that didn't, sign up now for us. You'll get Will Johnson for free, along with everything that I do and our other guests, simply by texting the word truth and sending it to the number 88202. Thanks for joining us today for ATP Report. I'm Barry Nussbaum.